The maneuvers you will see demonstrated here this afternoon are coordinated tactical techniques developed by Navy and Marine Corps pilots in both peacetime training and actual combat. These maneuvers are neither stunts nor daring feats, but are refinements of basic techniques taught to every prospective naval aviator. Here in El Centro, we will demonstrate these maneuvers at very low altitude in traditional Blue Angel formation, so that you may see and take pride in the precise fashion in which your Navy and Marine pilots are trained to fly. Now, direct your attention to the ramp before you and observe the military manner in which the 6 demonstration pilots approach their aircraft and are saluted by their crew chiefs. Flying Blue Angel number 6, the opposing solo from Bloomington, Illinois, Lieutenant Ryan Chamberlain. Flying Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo from Charleroi, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Mark Tedrow. Flying Blue Angel number 4, the slot pilot from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Commander Nate Barton. Flying Blue Angel number 3, the left wingman from Sedan, Kansas, Lieutenant Andy Talbot. Flying Blue Angel number 2, the right wingman from Honolulu, Hawaii, Lieutenant Matt Siderhoud. Flying Blue Angel number 1, the commanding officer and flight leader of the Blue Angels from Clinton Township, Michigan, Captain Tom Frosch. As the crew chiefs assist the pilots into their jets, you're witnessing the teamwork found in all Navy and Marine Corps units. The Blue Angels also take a great deal of pride in personifying the Navy and Marine Corps values of honor, courage, and commitment. For more information on our support crews and pilots, we invite you to follow us on social media, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. There you can get exclusive pictures and video, as well as a behind-the-scenes look at our organization and how we operate. The Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, is the oldest performing U.S. military aviation demonstration team. Since 1946, the Blue Angels have brought naval aviation to men and women of all ages across America. We were first based at Naval Air Station Jacksonville, Florida, flying F-6F Hellcats. We continued flying Grumman Corporation aircraft for 22 years, transitioning in late 1946 to the more powerful and faster F-8F Bearcat. In 1950, we transitioned to jet aircraft with the straight-wing F-9F2 Panther, predecessor of the swept-wing F-9F8 Cougar, which we received in 1955. In 1957, the Blue Angels became equipped with high-performance aircraft with the arrival of the supersonic F-11F Tiger. In 1969, we received the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom and flew this supersonic jet until 1974, when we transitioned to the A-4 Skyhawk. We are now in our 29th year of flying the highly sophisticated Boeing F-A-18 Hornet.
Even at 1-8000,
the pilots and crew chiefs will now start the General Electric engines that power the F-18. The noise level will soon become too high for you to hear a description of the checks they will be performing. However, please note that each aircraft was carefully inspected by expert Blue Angel maintenance personnel prior to this afternoon's aerial demonstration. The Blue Angels fly the Boeing F-A-18 Hornet, a multi-mission strike fighter, versions of which have been operational throughout the fleet since 1983. All right. while pilots 5 and 6 fly solos, demonstrating the maximum performance capability of the aircraft. Once again, I'm Captain Jeff Coos, Blue Angel number 7 from Durango, Colorado, the narrator and as well as the pilot for the key influencers and media personnel we normally fly at each show site. Blue Angel number 8, Captain Corey Mays from Marston's Mills, Massachusetts, is the Squadron Naval Flight Officer and events coordinator. Commander Bob Flynn from Morristown, New Jersey, serves as the Squadron Executive Officer. Lieutenant Commander Declan Hartney, our maintenance officer from Limerick, Ireland, is responsible for the men, women, and equipment that keep our aircraft flying. From Arlington, Virginia, the Blue Angel flight surgeon is Lieutenant Commander Joe Schwartz. From Chicago, Illinois, our administrative officer is Lieutenant Junior Grade Bill Harper. From Carbondale, Illinois, our supply officer is Lieutenant Greg Bollinger. From Ramona, California, our public affairs officer is Lieutenant Junior Grade Amberlynn Daniel. Our Boeing technical representatives are Mr. Ed Robinson from Waverly, Minnesota, Mr. Todd Lawson from Tigard, Oregon, and Mr. Landy Harnishfigger from Nantucket, Massachusetts. Our financial management analyst is Ms. Elizabeth Sassman from Kaysville, Utah, and our financial account technician is Mr. Angel Ortiz from Rio Grande.
You have the airspace! You are clear for takeoff! Have a good one! Thanks, Centro, clear for takeoff! Solo's ready to rock El Centro, boss! Boss, we're clear for takeoff, the winds are calm. Check your park, my golf, check your trim set, check your nozzle steering on. Maneuver, dive and half square cage, left turn out. Ready, almost. Really down up 309, let's find out for the first 2015 Blue Angels Air Show. Let's run them up.
Now, to the left, Captain Frosch calls smoke on, off brakes now, burners ready now, and the Blue Angel Diamond is rolling. As they pass before you, you'll notice the smoke is not visible while the engines are in afterburner. focus and timing required of Navy and Marine Corps aviators. Approaching center point, Lieutenant Tedrow and Lieutenant Chamberlain will roll their aircraft to 90 degrees angle of bank and push forward on the stick as they perform the opposing knife edge pass.
Here we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night to build fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the sea.
Similar to that experienced by astronauts in space, will now be felt by the two solo pilots as they demonstrate the inverted flight capability of the F-18. Approaching inverted from the left and right, they will roll their aircraft 360 degrees, crossing over center point. The opposing inverted to inverted roll. Lieutenant Tedrow and Lieutenant Chamberlain are approaching to demonstrate the inverted flight carrier configuration capability of the F-18 Hornet in a maneuver we call the Fortis. On the small and sometimes pitching deck of an aircraft carrier at sea, slow-speed flight is just as important as high-speed flight. In order to demonstrate the dirty slow-speed handling characteristics of the Boeing FA-18, Captain Frosch has called for the extension of the landing gear and tail hooks by the 4 Diamond pilots as they execute a maneuver performed by no other jet demonstration team in the world today. From the left, the Diamond Dirty Loop. He'll execute a 7.5 G afterburning turn, then exit the flight line vertically, showcasing the Hornet's slow-speed climb capability. Siderhout and Lieutenant Talbot maintain minimum wingtip to canopy separation. The flight leader and slot pilot are both in the inverted position. From the right, the Blue Angel, double marvel. From behind the spectator area, Blue Angels 5 and 6 are approaching the
Coming behind, coming behind.
Here we go.
Having rolled their aircraft 270 degrees and crossed with minimum separation, watching both pilots sustain 6 times the force of gravity and cross their aircraft back into the crowd. Crossing center point, they will complete 2 consecutive rolls, totaling 720 degrees, with a closure rate of over 800 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing horizontal rolls. Diamond pilots have established a left echelon formation. Approaching center point on Captain Frosch's command, Captain Frosch will roll the entire formation 360 degrees into the 3 wingmen. During this extremely difficult maneuver, Lieutenant Commander Barton on the outpost position will experience 4 times the displacement generated by Captain Frosch's aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel, left echelon roll. Completing the roll to the right, observe as the 3 wingmen smoothly shift back into the Blue Angel Diamond. Lieutenant Chamberlain completes the maneuver with a series of vertical rolls, while Lieutenant Tatro rendezvous with the Diamond to the right. From their flight path toward Captain Frosch's aircraft. They'll climb up through vertical under heavy G as they perform the very difficult 5-plane line abreast loop. they exit to the left. Captain Frost calls for another formation change prior to detaching Blue Angel number 5. Pilots of the F-18 Hornet. The two solo pilots will now demonstrate precision roll rate control. Approaching center point, they will roll their aircraft 360 degrees, pausing after each 90 degrees of rotation, crossing center point in the inverted position. The opposing 4-point hesitation roll.
You won't find the beat until you lose yourself, baby. That's
Approaching center point, they will climb up through vertical and shift back into the Blue Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel vertical. Right. The barrel roll break. Pulling up through vertical, he will roll the formation 90 degrees and perform a split S, finishing with a dynamic separation maneuver. The formation pulls to level. Each pilot will perform an individual brake turn and exit the flight line in a separate direction. Brake. 5 and 6 on their tails. At less than 120 miles per hour, the 5i-wire flight controls provide slow speed handling that sets the Hornet apart in the air-to-air combat arena. From the right, the section High Alpha Pass. facility, El Centro, California. The beautiful weather of the Imperial Valley provided us with optimum conditions to fly each of the demonstration pilots on the 120 training flights necessary prior to our first public demonstration. Our show season opens today and runs continuously each weekend through mid-November. The Blue Angels will be performing 65 flight demonstrations this season while visiting 34 cities throughout the United States. With the fleur-de-lis rendezvous complete, the Diamond is passing before you and will exit the flight line to the right. Of the crowd, the Delta is making their approach to the flight line. Approaching center point, the entire formation will separate in dramatic fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel Delta Breakout! Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron represents a time-honored tradition of pride, professionalism, and excellence spanning 104 years of naval aviation. The 2015 team takes a great deal of pride in saluting Navy and Marine Corps pilots, maintenance crews, and support personnel everywhere. From the right, your 2015 Blue Angels.
Where they do the parade.
demonstration pilots you have been watching perform here this afternoon are but a small part of the Blue Angel team. The men and women in blue uniforms standing before you are members of the elite Blue Angel maintenance crew. Through hard work, many long hours, and unselfish dedication, they have each year for the past 69 years provided us with the aircraft availability necessary to perform each of these demonstrations. From New Orleans, Louisiana, Navigator Chris Villalobos from Monterrey, Mexico, Flight Mechanic Josh Samuels from Gallatin, Tennessee, Loadmaster Zach Williford from Coburg, Kansas, and in-flight safety observers Anthony Moreno from Tucson, Arizona, and Daryl Homewood from Lincoln, Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy and Marine Corps Maintenance Crew 2015. Taxiing just off to your right, the Blue Angels are turning into the parking area now. As the pilots step away from their aircraft, I would like to take one final opportunity to introduce the demonstration pilots who have been watching perform here this afternoon. Having secured their engines, the pilots will simultaneously exit the aircraft on signal from Captain Frosch. It has been an honor and our pleasure to perform for you here in El Centro. This is our first flight demonstration of the 2015 season. Ladies and gentlemen, flying Blue Angel number 6, the opposing solo from Bloomington, Illinois, Lieutenant Ryan Chamberlain. Flying Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo from Charleroi, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Mark Tedrow. Flying Blue Angel number 4, the slot pilot from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Commander Nate Barton. Flying Blue Angel number 3, the left wingman from Sedan, Kansas, Lieutenant Andy Talbot. Flying Blue Angel number 2, the right wingman from Honolulu, Hawaii, Lieutenant Matt Siderhow. Flying Blue Angel number 1, the commanding officer and flight leader of the Blue Angels, from Clinton Township, Michigan, Captain Tom Frosch. Ladies and gentlemen, representing your United States Navy and Marine Corps, the Blue Angels 2015.